Good morning, little Sag. We're back. We survived the night, the frost/freeze warning, mostly unaffected by it. And we're gonna do a little campsite review here for you guys.
Yeah, as we like to do, we like to spend a whole night in the site and have a few meals and then do the campsite review. You don't want to give it some time to really leave its impression on you before you pass out the grades. Wouldn't be fair to do it the first day you're here, so we always like to do them in the morning. Yeah, I did okay. My feet were very cold in the sleeping bag last night. My bag is just not rated for that kind of temperatures, especially being in a hammock. So I think tonight I'll be boiling some water and putting a hot Nalgene bottle down by the feet, so that should help. And I was like on the side that got the early morning sun, so that was nice.
Yeah, the robot man told us that it's going to be another cold night tonight, which I think if you get that water bottle in there, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Is kind of, maybe a little on the cold side, but I also think it's greatly helping us in keeping the black flies from coming out in true form, because they're around, but I think they get knocked down at night with those freezing temperatures.
No doubt.
Maybe come out a little bit in the afternoon, so that should be helpful in that regard.
So that said, that we can't hold the temperatures against this campsite.
No.
And it's a beautiful campsite. But I guess we can start with the hammock sets. We easily found two. I was kind of set up back here.
Yeah, let's take a walk.
Take a little walk.
See, we were nicely packed up here and ready to go, so you didn't see the absolute strewness. This is, I think, where you were set up, right?
Yeah, I was right off that cedar to the spruce over here.
Very nice.
Multi-species deal, and I had a little path down to the water there.
Oh, yeah.
I did get up this morning and took a few casts down there.
Nothing.
No trout for breakfast, but nice spot to hang. We had stayed up late enough where I could actually kind of look at the stars overhead here last night. It was
we did get some star action.
Yeah, it was a really pretty night. So very happy with my hammock set over here. We had a couple more options. I don't know, I mean, it wasn't super hammocky, but I think if you had 4 people with hammocks, you'd figure it out.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some deep woods opportunities for hammocks as well.
Yeah, there's kind of a cedar grove down by the pooper.
Yeah.
So
this is where I was set up. Oh, I almost forgot my bungee dealy guy there on my little night hook.
That's why we do a sweep at the end.
Yeah, see, this is what we're doing it for.
So you were here off the Jack Pine here?
I was up in Jack Pine country over here.
Beautiful.
Next to what we were thinking would be kind of a fun ledge if you had a very stable and sturdy sleeping pad. There's like this rock precipice over the lake here that's like almost 100% flat. Yeah, it's a little rocky, but
if you had a good sleeping pad, you could sleep right here.
Yeah.
No problem.
But in terms of tent pads, it looked like there was for sure at least 2 solid ones with maybe like a covert one way in the back.
There was definitely a one down the hill there, a little sneaky tent pad down away over there to the east.
So I think
at least 3.
Yeah.
And lots of, like, you could have one right here. There's one down there. This would be a fine spot. Over here I think is your main
spot.
Tent pad over yonder where we did our what's in the bag video.
Yeah, we've got a nice youthful birch tree here that is looking very healthy.
Very good.
Central focal point of the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just the general numbers, I think. I don't think we really ever grade that aspect.
No, we don't,
of it,
but they're ample. I think
yes.
There's definitely not going to be a downgrade on either hammocking or tenting. Plenty of options.
Yes.
And it's pretty wide open in here, as you can see. You could definitely play some yard games in here. If you had your bocce ball set, it would be a pretty epic bocce ball arena. But we didn't bring one.
No.
We were just mainly relaxing and enjoying the view.
Yes.
As you can see, the view really, I think, kicks this grade up.
Yeah, well, I think we should, before we go down to the landing and finish up, we should, I think, say what, for me, makes this site is, I'm going to go ahead and just grade it an A+ fire grade.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it from the water, and we were intrigued enough just by the look from the water, it being very close to the edge of this little rock here with the obvious great view, sitting perched up here. And so we came in and it drew us in. It was what we first saw, and we got up here and we were sold. It's an A+ fire grate. You're looking north and west here, across the big open space of Little Sag, and got some nice hills off in the distance.
Big views. Big views. I think it's I don't know, 20 feet up off the water.
Yeah,
on this rock precipice, and then
you don't see a lot like this where you're sitting this high up off the water. It's pretty nice.
It's really nice, but it's also like last night we were kind of walking past the fire grate, just like 5 feet is like a straight drop down into the water. So you definitely want to stay on the upper side of the fire grate. But then the fire grate itself we were looking at last night is very nice because it's right on like just a solid rock. So it's just very clean, well kept.
We didn't have to mess with the rocks at all. They're perfectly situated. You know, I really, no alterations needed whatsoever on the fire grate, and we spent the majority of our time in camp just sitting right here.
Yeah. No, it was one of those things where a lot of times you come in and it's like super choked with ashes and stuff, and it was nice and clean. I think the only thing that we really found was like a couple of old creamer cups.
That's right, the old creamer cups.
Gotta have your creamer out here.
Yep.
But and then even just generally, like, I don't know, it's not one of those sites where there was like a bunch of stuff strewn. We did find
Bobby's stick here. Good job, Bobby, on carving up this beautiful. We didn't really need to use it a whole lot for poking or prodding the fire.
The controller stick.
The controller.
It's nicely got a nice grip there on top. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a walking stick or just for controlling that fire, but
yeah. Either
either way, kid, you done good. We were able to find a lot of good cedar right in camp here too. As you can see, there's a couple that this piece is maybe a little wet that was on the bottom, but we had enough cedar to cook both dinner and breakfast and have a fire crackling the whole evening here. And we're able to wood gnome. Left a couple here for him.
Yep. So yeah, I think we're both consensus A+ on the fire grate area, which I don't know if that you can really say much else besides that.
I would just say the only thing I've noted that there's no big pine trees.
Ah, yes.
Nothing in the class of jumbo pines, which for me, you know, I really like to have one big pine tree at least in a campsite. And so I don't know, you look around and you don't see a whole lot of big pine. There's some red over here on the island.
Yeah, the only big pines that you can maybe see are the distant hills over by Gabby Michigami on the tops of where the blowdown slash.
Yeah, that was my only complaint about the site would be there's a lack of white pine.
There's some over there to the west, but
we'll get into those later today.
Hopefully.
I like this little cedar tree over here. It's kind of got these branching, looks like a candelabra over here.
Yeah.
I took a picture of that one. And yeah, there's really no weird occurrences or critters. You know, we didn't catch any fish here. There's a lot of good spots to fish from shore though.
There was one weird occurrence though, right?
Yeah, are you talking about the music?
Yes.
Yeah, so last night I'm like wandering around. I'm like, do you hear that music? And Eric's like, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, uh-oh. Is this like the early onset of like a potential stroke or something?
Early onset of white wine dementia. And that was well into the bag of refreshing white wine. And yeah, I'm like, I swear I heard music. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, I don't know, I don't hear nothing. And then 5 minutes later, Eric goes, wait, I hear it now.
Yeah, and then like super tinny, like distant like music, but you could barely put your.
What's going on?
I'm like, I can't like make out the song or what it is, but I am hearing, like like there's an iPhone like just laying over in like the island across the way.
But it wasn't. It was my phone in my pocket. Somehow it was playing. What is it?
The Ronettes.
The Ronettes. Why?
Be my baby.
Be my little baby.
It was so weird.
And I pulled it out of my pocket. I'm like, it's my phone.
Well, yeah.
It's still playing like on the lowest volume setting possible.
Yeah, right.
And so we figured what had happened was I was listening to Spotify on the way up, and I'm using my older phone. So the only playlist I have downloaded on this phone is from our wedding.
Yeah.
Still is on there. And I don't know. I didn't know the Be My Baby was on the wedding playlist. I don't think it actually got played at the wedding, but somehow that song got turned on and was playing on my phone in my pocket, but just quiet enough where I couldn't tell it was coming from my own pocket. Yeah. It was one of those things like, the call it's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Ah!
I think the
So that was a little weird.
it was right around the same time we were having the conversations about like simulations and aliens.
Yeah.
And it was like, are we just imagining this because we're in that mindset right now?
I think we may have been.
But then, yeah, it was just like, obviously the most reasonable explanation is usually the answer, and
So,
of course it was.
That's what happens when you bring electronic devices out. Even if they're on airplane mode, they can still play the ronettes on you if you're not careful. So
Yeah.
that was odd. We did have a seaplane fly over pretty low while it was napping. I think that we
Yeah.
mentioned this already.
We did, yeah.
Right over the top. So that was, who knows what the Forest Service is up to.
Who knows?
We'll get back to them, I'm sure, on hear what happened there. And we did get a couple flocks of geese going north.
Oh yeah.
We had one come in late last night and land back behind that island, and then this morning while I was casting, there was like a triple group monster honkers going.
Yeah.
So they're moving. A lot of good bird noises. All the trees are leafing out in here. It's pretty beautiful, and the bugs were a lot less than we were worried about them. I like had the bug net on my hammock, and absolutely not necessary. I don't think I'll put it on tonight, and just gonna leave it open. So
I think we did mention that we may have been the only ones on the lake, but after we got the fire going, we did see some smoke from the north.
Smoke coming, and then later they got it roaring. They're over there
directly to the
directly across from us. There, they were whooping it up. It sounded like, and they I think stayed up later than we did. You said you were the last one up, and you said their fire was still going when you turned in. So
yep.
The last thing we got to get to, of course, is the landing. I know we normally start with the landing, but we wanted to feature this beautiful fire grate, which is impeccable in every way.
So yeah, if you're watching vicariously, this is what it's all about here.
Seriously, I mean, there's people over there, but we haven't seen anybody on the water at all. We literally have had Little Sag to ourselves for almost 24 hours at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go down, finish at the landing, and make our way out of here.
Yeah, time to get moving. We're heading west and into the heart of the park.
Yes.
But first we have to show you this landing.
Which, I don't know, it's fine. It's nothing special.
It's not a beach.
It's not as bad as I thought it was when we pulled up. It actually has some options for one canoe for sure. So we've got the remnants of our pollen storm from yesterday. So it's like a single shot, like
yeah, it's kind of a little mini marina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a nice loading rack right here. You can pull in and load with minimal scrapage.
Yep.
And then yeah, a nice little like instead of down cedar over here to just pull the boat right up onto it.
It might be.
Honestly, it's almost perfect.
It is for one boat. It's like a perfect dry dock.
Yeah, it's
People
pretty cool.
have, like,
I mean, I think you could squeeze two in there on the trees. It would just be a little tight, but
yeah,
not bad. And there's some spots where I was throwing lures this morning down by my hammock set that you could easily land over there. I think it was like a shallow enough ledge that you could pull in there and then just, pull your canoe up and hide it somewhere up there. But this is the primary marina.
I think so.
And I'm really happy with it. No complaints. It was a lot I've seen a lot worse.
Yes.
So it's not going to hurt the grade on this campsite either.
I think it's a solid A for me.
It's an A. The campsite's an A. I'd say A plus. If it had a huge white pine in the route on the point there, then I would be an A plus. But it's an A, and there's not that many straight A's where it's an obvious A.
Oh yeah, nothing.
It's
You'd
not
be
even
nitpicking
questionable
to take anything away from an A. So
absolutely. Plus, just had pretty good solitude out here. Got some ronettes. Had just free firewood right in camp.
Oh yeah.
Dead, free for the taking cedar.
That's added to the A for sure.
So yeah, I mean, in every way, you literally there was like a piece of birch bark sitting right by the cedar too. So
yeah, you can tell it's kind of maybe hasn't been used that much yet this spring because there was just like huge flaps of birch laying just 20 yards off into the woods. Which,
yeah, it's June 2nd now. I mean, there was ice out here a month ago.
Yeah.
So it probably hasn't had that much action so far this year. So that's another nice thing about getting out late May or early June. You usually probably the farther you go too. I mean, like where we're going today, we
might run into like some moose sheds.
Yeah, like we could find moose sheds on the portages today. We're going that deep into the heart.
Yep.
So anyways, I think we're giving it an A. I'm happy with the grade. I love this campsite, and it was worth the early stop. We were talking with breakfast that we always kind of have a range. Like, okay, this is about the earliest we'd be willing to stop. and this is about the farthest we'd want to go. And this was literally the first dot on the map where we were getting into that back region here in the southwest side where we're like, we could stop in this section, and we pulled around the point and look at this.
It was just like, dang.
First one, can't pass that up. I mean, we may pass some beautiful sights going out of here today. I don't know what's in front of us. It's all new to me, but
right.
I have no problems with having stopped here. And we get a little paddle on Little Sag this morning, and then moving down to Elton. And Elton to Hoe, and then heading west. We're going right between two PMAs.
Yep.
And then we got a real weird portage going into Boulder, so that may be our next check-in point for the day.
We'll see how slogged out we are by then. If there's mud or a creek, we'll post some pictures of what the different maps show for there.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just like a T on one, and then another makes it look like you.
And Nat Geo makes it look like you have to go down a creek and then pick up a like in the middle of the portage, get into a creek and then pick up a portage off of that. So who knows?
I have a sneaking suspicion we're gonna get kind of muddy today.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do that. Get this pollen off me.
Yeah, right.
All right, folks. This has been expert campsite review from Little Sag. If you're ever out here, check out Site 20. It's a beaut.